Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well and I hope that home learning is still going well. Thank you to the people who contacted me about their favourite space in the house, or for some people it's just outside in their garden. I heard from one child who enjoys sitting on the bedroom floor building Lego. I heard from someone else who enjoys also standing in the kitchen looking out of the window. I know of a child who loves sitting on a swing in the garden and swinging away there, no matter what the weather. And I heard of someone who is looking forward to her dad finishing a birdhouse. It'll go into the garden and then she'll be able to look out of her bedroom window and watch the birds come to feed on it. So all of these are special places for us, and thank you for getting in touch with me. I don't know if you remember on my very first day when I chatted to you, I was talking about my bread maker, and I'm really enjoying using it, and I know the family are enjoying eating all of the bread. But I've learned something that's really important about it. Now, when I was a little girl, I used to help my granny when she was baking, and I loved going to my granny's. But my granny was a baker who just threw everything in. Flour, in it goes. A handful of sugar, in it went. I used to love the fact that it was a pinch of salt. I got to put my fingers into salt and then just put it into the bowl. My granny didn't ever measure anything. She just put it all into the bowl, mixed it up, and lo and behold, she would make the most amazing cakes, pancakes, scones, tarts, you name it. So I thought really that's what you had to do when you were baking or when you were making something. So it came as a bit of a shock to me when I looked at the instructions for the bread maker, and you have to be very careful how you measure. And they actually give you a little spoon that measures out the amount of sugar or the amount of salt or the amount of yeast. So there aren't all that many ingredients, but you must follow the instructions. You must put the things into the bread maker in the correct order. And then you really have to make sure it's measured totally correctly. No handfuls, no pinches, no big handfuls, no cupfuls. And then at the end, believe it or not, if you follow the instructions, out comes exactly what you had planned to make. And I was thinking about the fact that, well, God gives us instructions to live by. We learn about them, even if we are really young, and if you're really young and listening to me just now, you would hear about it at creche and at Sunday school, or junior church as we say. You'd hear about it in school, or when Mr. Murning is telling you a story, that there are ways that it's a good way to live, and there are ways that maybe just aren't quite so good. With the bread maker, if you don't follow the instructions, it ends up all gloopy and yucky, and it certainly doesn't end up as a loaf of bread. And sometimes in life, if we don't follow the instructions, or we don't follow the way that we should be, if we maybe aren't quite so kind, if we maybe aren't quite so loving, if we maybe are a bit selfish, then life can become quite gloopy. It can be quite messy. So, God has given us a set of instructions, and it's a really good idea if we can try to follow them, even when life's a bit tough. And maybe the one thing that we could think about today is, have I been as kind as I could be? Have I just moaned a little bit too much? Am I better to try to follow the instructions to be quite a good person? And I think if you've done that, you've maybe done really quite well. So don't be too hard on yourselves. Try hard with your work. Continue with home learning, and I know it's tough. And remember, God loves you. He loves you just the way you are. And that's really good.